and welcome to Ivy English. I'm Angela.
And I'm Wesley.
Today we have the vocabulary test. Are you excited?
I am.
We all know your reasons, though.
今天我们有个词汇测验。
So let's not waste any time because there's a lot to do. Our sentences are getting longer and more interesting, so let's do number 1. As the coronavirus spread, classes were switched to being held online, so students were told to leave blank and study from home until the end of the semester. So, this is such a familiar story. The coronavirus was spreading. It was becoming, there was more and more coronavirus cases everywhere. So classes were switched to being held online. So originally they were held in person, and then everybody went to using the internet to connect up. So students were told to leave blank. Where are they leaving? Well, if the classes are being held online, you literally can be anywhere in the world with an internet connection, so you don't have to be at school. So they're being told to leave school, basically, and study from home so that everyone is safer. But we don't have the word school in our choices. We have clinic, campus, cupboard, and committee. So I'm just going to make this simple. None of these, except for B, can be used without the. You have to say the clinic, the cupboard, the committee, because these are all countable nouns. But campus is a non-count noun, so choose campus. Also, campus means the school grounds. So it means the school grounds and all the buildings and all the physical,
facilities.
Thank you, facilities available to you at school. So choose campus. As the coronavirus spread, classes were switched to being held online, so students were told to leave campus and study from home until the end of the semester.
好 as 是随着这个新冠病毒 spread 就是扩散。好 classes were switched 课程一个一个的课，而且不止一个课，很多课都被 switched 被转换 to 转到哪里去呢？转到 being held online 在线上上课。好，这个 held 它的受词就是 the classes。好，所以这句话其实就是我们中文讲的很多课都改成，或者是大部分的课，或者是上课都改成线上上课，英文就可以这样讲 Classes were switched to being held online. 好，所以呢，学生们 were told to 被告知要 leave 离开什么呢？那线上上课就不用到学校来了，所以他们要离开的是 campus， 所以选 B。他们要离开校园，然后呢 study from home 就是在家读书。那各位注意到，在家上班英文也是讲 work from home， 不会讲 at home， 因为 at 只是指你上班或者读书的地点。那 from home 的话，就是你本来应该要到哪里去的，可是你没去所以你 work from home 或者是 study from home， 介系词用的是 from， 所以他们都要求在家里面读书。好，那 until the end of the semester 一直要到学期末。那我们看到其他选项，那刚刚 Angel 老师讲到一个很重要的重点，就是这4个选项里面呢，除了正确选项 campus 之外呢，其实通常都必须要有冠词，尤其是单数的时候。所以呢，要么 A clinic 它是个诊所，你要用这个字的话，你可能要讲 the clinic 但是意思还是不对。那 B campus 这个字呢，它前面通常不加冠词所以英文里面有个大家背起来 on campus 不是 on the campus， 是 on campus 没有冠词的。好，所以这是答案。那 C 呢 cupboard 是橱柜，那前面如果要用的话也通常要加一个冠词第4个选项 committee 是委员会通常也是会有冠词的 the committee 或者 a committee， 所以 A, C, D 都不对，我们选 B。
Number 2. Colin and his co-workers dedicated themselves to their agricultural experiment. Through hard work, they succeeded in transforming wastelands into blank fields. So Colin and his co-workers must be scientists, and they're doing an agricultural experiment. They're trying to figure out a new method to do something with growing food, because agriculture is about growing food, and especially cereal crops like rice, wheat, etc. So through hard work, of course, they succeeded in transforming wastelands into blank fields. So wastelands are lands that are wasted. They're not being productively used to grow food. But they transformed them into what kind of fields? Well, if they weren't useful before, now they have to be useful in some way, or producing, food in some way. So let's look at our choices. We have fertile, which means they can easily produce more and more, grow and do a lot of things. So fertile is probably our answer. Then we have harmonious, which is being in balance. Precise, meaning very clear and to the point. And revolutionary, which is about changing things up. So obviously, fertile is our answer. Choose A. Colin and his co-workers dedicated themselves to their agricultural experiment. Through hard work, they succeeded in transforming wastelands into fertile fields.
好，那我们看到 Colin 跟他的同事们 co-workers， 他们 dedicated themselves to 就是致力于全心全力做什么呢？做他们的 agricultural experiment 农业方面的实验。好 through hard work 就是透过努力，而且是非常努力 hard work， 他们 succeeded in 就在某一方面获得了成功，后面加一个名词或者加一个 VING， 这里是 VING， 好，所以他们在哪方面获得成功呢？他们在 transforming wastelands into 什么样的 fields。 好，那 transform A into B 就是把 A 换成 B， 那这里的 A wastelands 就是荒地不毛之地，那把它成功的荒地会转成什么东西呢？转成什么样的田野呢？ fields 呢？我们看看选项 A fertile 是肥沃的丰饶的，这个答案很不错因为本来是荒地，他们实验之后把它转成了很肥沃的土地，所以 A 是正确选项。那 B harmonious 是和谐的融洽的，我们讲到土地没有什么和谐的土地这个如果你指的是那个土地的话，所以 B 不对。 C precise 这精确的那精确的土地精确的田野也很怪。D revolutionary 是革命的或者革命性的原野 fields 这个也不知道是什么意思，所以 B C D 都不对，我们选 A。
Number 3. Lisa blank that I should lose a few kilos without directly saying that I'm overweight. Yet it's still embarrassing. Oh, so Lisa said you're fat, but she didn't directly say it. She didn't say it using those words. She did something else. She made the other person understand her meaning without using any incriminating words. So what word does that? Flattered means to say nice things about someone. Revised means to review things. Opposed means to not want something or to be against something. Implied is our answer, because if you imply something, you get somebody to understand something without using any words that will directly tell them the thing. So choose D. Lisa implied that I should lose a few kilos without directly saying that I'm overweight, yet it's still embarrassing.
好，所以 Lisa 她怎么样呢？我们要选的是 implied， 她暗示什么呢？暗示 I should lose a few kilos， 我应该瘦几公斤但是呢 without， 但她没有 directly saying， 她没有直接的说 that I'm overweight， 说我太胖了，我超重了。但是呢，尽管她是用暗示的 it's still embarrassing， 仍然是让人觉得很不好意思，令人困窘embarrassing， 所以我们选 D。 那其他选项我们看一下 A flattered 是奉承，他不可能奉承别人说哎呀你应该瘦几公斤，所以不对。 B revised 是修改或者修订他修订说我应该瘦几公斤也不对。 C opposed 是反对，我反对你瘦几公斤，这更奇怪，所以我们选 D implied。
The workers have had enough of their heavy workloads, so they will blank with their employer to hire more people. They're going to do what? They want to change the situation, and they're going to do something with their employer to get the employer to hire more people. So they could cooperate with their employer to hire more people. That could make sense. They could proceed with their employer. Makes no sense because you proceed with a procedure. You proceed with an action. Negotiate with their employer works, and it works better than cooperate because that means they're going to discuss things with them and try to persuade them. On D, responded with their employer makes no sense because you can't respond with something. Oh, you could respond with a
long letter.
A long letter, right?
Yeah.
But you can't respond with a person. Mm-hmm. So collocations matter. You
Exactly.
can respond with, but only with a thing or with an action.
Mm-hmm.
So choose C, negotiate. The workers have had enough of their heavy workload, so they will negotiate with their employer to hire more people.
好，所以呢，这些工人 had enough of 就是受够了。受够了什么呢？受够了他们的 heavy 沉重的 workloads， 他们的工作负担，所以他们受够了沉重的工作负担。所以呢，他们将会，我们选 C negotiate 谈判啊 negotiate with someone， 他们会跟他们的 employers 他们的雇主谈判，目的是要 hire more people， 要雇佣更多的人。那我们看看其他选项 A cooperate 是合作，好，他们已经受不了了，还要跟他们的 employer 合作吗？啊，所以 A 这个答案不好。B proceed with 是进行某件事情啊 to proceed with the preparation of something 就是你继续准备什么东西开始进行。好，那在这里你也不会跟他们的雇主开始进行，不知道什么意思，不对。D responded 我们刚刚讲的，你可以 respond with 例如说一封长长的信啊，但是你不会 respond with 一个人啊，所以 D 也不对，我们选 C negotiate。
Number 5.With the baby asleep, the couple finally could blank spend some time catching up on things they had long cast aside because of parental responsibilities. Long cast aside? This sentence is implying that they are now got rid of the baby for some time because all these things are going to take some time to do, but the baby's only asleep. They don't have that much time. Anyways, how could they spend their time? You can't namely spend some time. That's not even a thing. You could leisurely spend some time, but your baby's only going to be asleep for 4 hours or something, so you don't really have leisure. But the other choices are scarcely, which means almost no. You can't scarcely spend time. You scarcely have any time would make sense. And bitterly spend some time. If you're like, oh, finally I have time to do things, you could bitterly spend some time. But I think that this sentence is looking for leisurely.So let's choose B. With the baby asleep, the couple finally could leisurely spend some time catching up on things that they had long cast aside because of parental responsibilities.
好，所以 with the baby asleep 就是这个宝宝在睡觉，这个是随附的状态，伴随的状态。好 with 后面加受词的 baby， 然后后面再加一个受词补语 asleep， 指的是这个 baby 正在 asleep， 它是 asleep 的状态。所以宝宝睡着了，那这一对夫妇终于可以怎么样呢？我们看到 B leisurely 就是悠闲地 spend some time 花点时间做什么事呢？ spend time doing something， 那他们做的事情是 catching up on things， 哪些事情呢？ things they had long cast aside， 这些事情他们已经很久抛在一边了。为什么要抛在一边呢？ Because of parental responsibilities， 因为做父母的责任太忙了，所以这些事情都抛在一边。好，那我们看看其他选项 A namely 就是 that is to say 哈，那放在这个句子里面文法意义都不通。那 C scarcely 哈 they could scarcely spend some time， 意思是他们几乎没有办法花时间在一起，但这个地方讲小孩已经睡着了，他们有一点时间，所以 C 不对。bitterly 是很强烈的，好 it was bitterly cold 冷得不得了啊，那放在这里意思不通啊，所以不要选，我们选 leisurely。
Number 6. After the judges announced the results of the contest, the winning team cheered in blank, hugging and fist-bumping each other. So we have a winning team that cheered how? They cheered in some kind of emotion. Grief means sadness. Jealousy means they're angry that someone else got something they didn't. Revenge means they're going to punish somebody for getting something they didn't. None of those make sense. D, triumph means a sense of joy that you've won, so definitely choose D. After the judges announced the result of the contest, the winning team cheered in triumph, hugging and fist-bumping one another.
好，所以在这个裁判 announced 宣布 the results of the contest 比赛的结果，好，那不是只有一个结果，因为第一名、第二名等等的，好，所以是 results of the contest。好，他宣布比赛结果之后呢 ，the winning team 就是获胜的队伍 cheered 欢呼，那怎么样的欢呼呢？我们选的是 in triumph， 就是胜利的、很高兴的欢呼。好，然后呢，同时 hugging 他们拥抱彼此，然后呢 fist bumping， 好，这个就是大家互相握拳啊，要用拳头平的那一面互碰啊，这个叫做 fist bumping。好，那我们看看其他选项 A grief 悲伤，他们既然胜利了，干嘛这个 in grief 在那里，而且欢呼 cheer in grief 这个很奇怪哈，你已经很难过，为什么在那里欢呼呢？ B jealousy 是嫉妒， C revenge 是报复，都不对。
Number 7, the proposal to create a new slogan for our product hasn't received blank approval in the company. Some still prefer the current one. So people want to change their slogan, the tagline for our product, but some still want the existing one. So not everybody approves it. They haven't received everyone's approval. So what word of our 4 choices means something like everyone? We have universal, flexible, voluntary, and peculiar. So the only one that means everyone or anything like it is A, universal. So choose A. The proposal to create a new slogan for our product hasn't received universal approval in the company. Some still prefer the current one.
好，所以 the proposal 就是这个提案。什么提案呢？ To create a new slogan for our product. 好，所以呢就是创造一个新的 slogan 口号为我们的产品。好，所以这样的一个提案呢 hasn't received 没有受到我们选 universal 就是全体的或者普遍的 approval 赞同 in the company 公司里面不是大家都赞同啊。那有一些人呢 still prefer the current one 他们仍然比较喜欢目前的 current 就是目前的这一个。好，其他选项我们看一下 be flexible 是有弹性的。什么叫有弹性的赞同？这很奇怪啊。那voluntary 是自愿的自发的赞同啊，那既然是赞同当然是希望是自发的啊，所以不用强调。那第一 peculiar 是古怪的特殊的都不对啊 universal 最好就是 universal approval 就是普遍性的赞成。
Number 8, it's dangerous to drive in heavy rain since it blank the driver's vision and makes it easier for vehicles to skid.So heavy rain causes 2 problems. It does something to the driver's vision, and if you've ever seen heavy rain, you know that it means it limits it. It makes it hard to see. The other thing is it makes it easier for vehicles to skid. Skid is another word for slide. It's called hydroplaning, if you want the scientific term. It means that you actually float on the water rather than touching the pavement, and that's very dangerous.But we're talking about the vision, so what's a word that has something to do with limiting the driver's vision or interfering with it? We have soaks, which means getting full of water, exiles, which means being sent out of your country, blurs, which means make something harder to see or make something less clear. So that's certainly our answer. And then we have abuses, which means to purposely do something hateful to somebody or something. So choose C.It's dangerous to drive in heavy rain since it blurs the driver's vision and makes it easier for vehicles to skid.
好，所以 it's dangerous to do something 做这件事情很危险的。什么事情很危险呢？ Drive 开车 in heavy rain 在大雨中开车很危险。为什么呢？因为 it 就是指这个大雨啊，它会怎么样呢？我们选 C blurs blur 就是使变得模糊，使看不清楚，所以它会 blurs the driver's vision。视线叫做 vision， 所以它会让你的视线模糊，让驾驶者的视线模糊。然后呢 makes it easier for vehicles to skid， 让车辆更容易打滑 skid 就是滑行，所以我们选 blurs。那我们看其他选项 A soaks 是浸泡浸透浸湿啊，所以视线不会被 soak 啊。那 exiles 是放逐啊，那也不会说放逐你的视线，没有这种说法，中文英文都没有。abuse 是虐待你的视线啊，这也很奇怪啊！你不知道，我也不知道怎么样可以虐待你的视线。
Oh, by reading the internet for too long, you can definitely abuse your vision.
Oh, you're right.
Staring at an LCD screen for too long.
Yeah, 哦，对了，这个长期看电脑荧幕或者手机荧幕，那个就是 abuse 你的 vision 了啊。不过呢，在这里我们还是用 blurs 比较好，因为大雨它是 blurs your vision.
Yeah. Number 9, studies show that reading a variety of literary blank has a positive effect on writing. So it is used as a method of encouraging clear thinking in today's schools. So we're doing something that helps people think more clearly, and we have to read a variety of something. A variety means all different kinds of. So all different kinds of what? I would assume books, but we don't have books here. We have cruises, which are trips on ships. Genres, which are types of writing. Ooh, this is our answer, because if you know all these different kinds of writing, you can think more clearly and express yourself better. The other choices are layers. Layers could be of anything, layers of clothes, layers of clouds, layers of graphics on a computer. We also have quests, which are like trips that you're sent on for a purpose to get something. So choose B, genres. And I know this is your favorite word because this zh in genre is not a sound that we find in Chinese. And so Chinese speakers find it hard to say sometimes. And it's also not a very common sound in English. This one comes from French. So blame the French, like I like to do. So, studies show that reading a variety of literary genres has a positive effect on writing. So, it is used as a method of encouraging clear thinking in today's schools.
好，所以呢，研究显示 studies show 显示什么呢 ？Reading a variety of 就是阅读各种各样的 literary genres， 就是文学的文类genres 就是文类。那做这样的事情呢 has a positive effect on writing， 对于写作有正面的影响 has a positive effect on something， 就对什么有正面的影响。所以呢，这种阅读呢被用来当做一种方法，什么方法呢？它会被用来鼓励 encouraging 就是鼓励，然后呢 clear thinking 清楚的思考在现在的学校里面，大家鼓励这样的事情希望大家阅读，然后呢可以刺激清楚的思考。那我们看到 A 选项 cruises 是邮轮，不对。B 是正确答案。C layers 是一层一层的那也不对。D quests 是一个追寻，那个也不对，所以我们要选 B。
And number 10, Richard was in the hospital for several weeks, more than 2 weeks, after he suffered from an blank stroke. A stroke is where you have bleeding in your brain, which messes up your brain connections and does everything make you lose memory to make you lose ability to move parts of your body. So strokes are not fun. And so he suffered from a stroke while jogging in the neighborhood. Oh, bad. Okay, so what kind of stroke did he suffer from? An exotic stroke. Well, no stroke is exotic. They're all the same. A problem. Intact means it's complete and whole. That makes no sense. Overall could be bad. It means the entire body was affected by the stroke. But D is better. Acute stroke. If something is acute, it means it is like more strong. It is more intense. It has a much deeper effect. It's not mild. And it's a medical term. So you could say he had a mild stroke, which meant that, he probably lost the use of his arm or something. An acute stroke would mean you probably lose use of half your body. My father had an acute stroke and he was in the hospital for 3 weeks and didn't recognize any one of us.
Wow.
Yeah. So choose D. Richard was in the hospital for several weeks after he suffered from an acute stroke while jogging in the neighborhood.
好，所以 Richard was in the hospital， 他在医院里面，也就是住院的意思for several weeks， 住了几个礼拜。After 在什么之后住院住了几个礼拜呢？他 suffered from 就是罹患了什么样的疾病？那他患了什么疾病呢？他得到的是一个 an acute stroke， 一个很急性的一个中风。好，那 acute 就是急性的，相对的慢性的是 chronic， CHRONIC。好，那这是什么时候发生的事情呢？当他 jogging in the neighborhood， 他在这个社区里面跑步的时候，慢跑的时候呢，突然之间中风了。哇，这个蛮严重的。那其他选项我们看一下 A exotic 是有异国风情的这个跟中风没有关系。那 intact 是完整无缺的，原封不动的，通常也不会拿来形容中风。那 overall 是全体的，总体的。但在这个上下文里面呢，他在慢跑，然后呢应该是突然之间中风所以最好的答案还是选 acute。
So that's all the words we have for you today, but please come again tomorrow or the next time for more Ivy English. Until then,
bye-bye.